So I like the idea, but I think the positioning could have and should have been just a little bit different by playing like under, right? So like if they were up on this platform here, or like kind of playing ship or playing inside, then you could be standing here, right? And then like looking for hacks, you know, something like this or something like that, right? Or being over here and then playing under. And then as the fight shifts back, you're kind of like tucking it under them and then playing like under here because that makes it really hard for those people in high ground to actually help you. Because if you're down here, even if they're above you, they still have to send somebody to cart, right?
Mm-hmm.
And anybody that they send to cart, you can get a hack off because they have to have their back to you. And so it forces people into these duels that you want because it helps you farm your EMP a ton. Also, I'd break your TL there. Because it's in this room on this pack where a fight is taking place.
Yeah, it was a bit iffy.
Yeah. Something that's actually always like really solid spots is like these old spawns. So you could be throwing it like right around this corner here. And that way you're still close to the fight, or you could throw it like just like right in here, like right there. The only reason I would throw this one further in is because people walk by this area and might see it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like old spawns are really good because nobody goes in there.
That ball is not escaping.
I was filling for a scrim just the other day, and I was on a Reaper, and they were running the Reaper Doom comp. I TP'd to the back line, I did the thing, and then the enemy mortar tried to fade up and out as I was dropping down, and so like I like ended up like I stood on the top of her head in the middle of the air, and then I just shot straight down and killed her like with one shot. I was like, damn, I just goomstumped this bitch. Alright, we're staging for EMP. They don't have sleep, now would be a good time to go. Okay, that was a little sketchy.
Yeah, it was.
Like, we're sitting here, we're waiting, but like, I guess the question I have is, what are you waiting on?
For them not to be so spread, I think. So I want them to at least be grouped up so I can get just more than like a person or two, because then I could just use a normal pack otherwise.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, if we EMP just these two supports, and these two supports die because their team has, like, little to no healing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if we kill both the supports and we end up winning the fight off of that, didn't we in a way win off of a 6-man EMP because we killed 6 off of hitting 2? I mean, right?
I can't argue with that. Yeah.
the way of look, you know how people always talk about like oh it's huge, you know, it's a 4-man, it's a 5-man, it's a 6-man, it's a whatever man, right? You have to look at EMP value, or just not even EMP, but ult value is not how many kills that ult gets, it's how many kills come from using that ult.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So for example, like if our like okay, like we have the EMP, so if we go here, we hit the EMP and it hits, you know, the Brig, it hits the Ana, maybe hits the Diva, right? And so you hit like right here, it hits all 3 of those. That means they don't have DM, they don't have packs, they don't have anti or sleep, and that means that these 3 die, right? That means it's a 3-man EMP. Let's say you go in here, you EMP, and it hits all 3 of these guys, but we only kill the Brig, and then the other 2 get out. Then even though you hit 3 with the EMP, it was only a 1-man EMP, right?
Okay.
So the idea is not how many kills your ult gets, it's how many kills your ult causes, right? Let's say we drop Visor, right? And he burns all of the Diva DM and breaks the Brig shield, right? And then like the Ana hits her sleep, right? I would still say it was like a 2-man Visor if like the Diva and the Brig still die, because we used the Visor to get rid of the DM and get rid of the shield and the packs, and then because those 2 die, I would say it was still like a 2-man ult, right?
Okay.
So I get what you mean by like, oh, you know, if they're all spread out, then it's not like the perfect opportunity, but the perfect opportunity is rarely ever going to present itself. You kind of have to make it work, right? So I would say hitting like a 3-man here and then pushing these guys all out, especially coming into this, because right now with where things are, it's a two fight situation we're in, right? Which is one fight for the corner, and then there's a touch fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we can stagger this first corner fight, which is the strongest fight for defense, if we can stagger them on that, that forces them into a staggered touch fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we get like this kill and this kill, just these two alone, that means that like this diva can't sit here, so she's got to back up, right? This Torb can't sit here because he's got to back up. They're all gonna get poked out because our ball's gonna take space. The soldier's gonna take this high ground catwalk area, right? And then we're gonna push this cart up to about here before those supports are alive again. And then by that point, they have to like sit in the spawn effectively, right? So getting these two picks now would effectively force them to play for like burning time off the clock at the end of the match.
Okay.
Um, and so I would say that is totally worth it, right? As opposed to waiting for everybody to come out, and then we have to have like a full-on team fight, you know?
All right.
Because with a full-on team fight, let's say they end up going first because you're waiting for that perfect opportunity, and then this Ana just like nanos the diva, and the diva goes super hard into your backline, and then she kills two, right? Then it's like, oh fuck, right?
Yeah.
um, and so I would say like, if you see a perfect opportunity, then yeah, go for it. If you don't see it though, don't. Like it's not always a good idea to wait for it, right? Right here, this Ana just used her sleep, right? The ball is dead and the brig is low and running away. So right here, you probably could actually just get away with uncloaking and then just trying to like hack or shoot at this Ana and then telling your ball to engage on the Ana, and then you could TL over to these three and then hit an EMP here, and then we look for follow-up kills on that brig and then the Kree. Right? That could also work.
Okay.
But it seemed like you were just really undecided and like what you wanted to do, and you're like you want to make something happen, but you don't know if you should, and then you kind of just did nothing. And then it's exactly what I said would happen, right? Like they
Yeah.
ended up using stuff first. Also, you should learn a lot more of like the creative translocation spots, because there's all sorts of stall spots or hidden spots that people can never like actually get to it. So like a good one, it would be like throwing it behind these barrels here,
Mm.
right? You could throw it behind those. You could throw it behind that. Um, I'm just kind of looking around. You could do the same thing with these barrels, or you could throw it back there. Let's see what else. Same thing with these guys here. Um, you can throw it like just into this corner here. If I would go up the stairs, I don't see anything up here. Oh, another good one actually is you can throw it on this side of the stuff over here. So like you could drop it here, and then while you're in cloak, you can just jump over this, and then you're here.
I remember that. That's a fun
Yeah,
one.
yeah. There's all sorts of spots. Another one that you can do is you can actually throw it back here on this like on this ledge that exists right here. You can throw it on that, and then almost nobody ever finds it because people always respawn and they walk out like that,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't expect a TL like way back there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's all sorts of spots, but like I feel like right now most of your TL spots are really easily read or just not in a good spot. Like as in it's either too far back or it's just too exposed. Um, you'll kind of naturally learn where you can and can't put them later on.
Yeah.
And this map in specific is a little weird because there's not a ton of spots, but there's still some, right? You could be throwing it like behind these boxes when we're first pushing up the straight, and then like abusing this room and all its barrels for most of the second push, or planting it up here to abuse this left side. Because you kind of look at it as like Sombra is a lane controller, right? So she doesn't typically play through main. She's gonna play a flank angle, right? So she's either gonna be playing like this flank angle or this flank angle. Since we have this Kree, the Kree is probably gonna take the shorter of the angle, or he'll just be in main. So then it's kind of up to you to decide. And I would say the room with the mini in it would probably be a bit stronger. If we had a tracer, Tracer would probably take this like route, and then you would take the shorter route because she's got blinks,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if we had a tracer, you can plant up here and then come over here, and then you control like this whole lane. and then your tracer having that mini hack is going to take that whole lane, and then your ball is going to control mid, and then ball goes in, and if the ball and tracer are engaging here, then you can pinch in from there, right? If the ball comes here and looks for the engage, you're up here on this high ground, so you're from here, our tracer can blink, blink, and then pinch in from here, that type of thing. Because you can also go to this box, walk over, and then go behind to give a behind angle. So with that, that's how you do that. But I would say because we have the Kree is going to kind of be in main. The ball is going to engage from in main, so you got to kind of do the job of being like that behind angle. So it's kind of open whether you want to be over here. But right now you're planting your TL like super far back, as opposed to like you can kind of see it as like an anchor point for your team. And then if your anchor point gets removed, so like if your team is fighting up here, then you could be at like the upper end of that because you want to be pushing, right? If you're at the back end of that, then it makes it really hard to push. It makes you guys a lot more stable. So like on defense, you could have a further anchor, right? Like if we were defending here and our team is like in this area, then you could anchor on these back corners because then it makes your team a lot more stable. But it makes it really hard to take space if you're attacking. And I'm not necessarily saying specific if you're on the attacking side or the defending side. I mean like situationally with the flow of the fight, right?
Yeah.
And so like if you're defending, planting it further back is okay because it makes you more stable. But if you're trying to take space and be forward, then planting it in like an upper anchor is going to be really good because it allows you to start pushing into that new space. But you don't really want to be playing it in main, and you don't want to be playing it like behind your team. So if we were stationed here and you were like anchored somewhere in here, and we start to get pushed back, then you can take your TL out, and then you just throw it into the back, and you try to pull some aggro here, and then you take your TL because it's gonna interrupt the enemy's push, which will give your team time to stabilize. Sombra is not the highest hitting DPS in the game by a mile, right?
I'm salty about that.
Yeah, it happens, bro.
So I'm gonna look at this big EMP here.
Yeah, Sombra, she doesn't do the most damage in the game, but she gets a lot of utility value, right? She's pulling away resources, she's pulling away attention. She forces people into one-on-ones that they don't want to be in, stuff like that. So by playing her a bit more creatively, you'll find a lot of good value in that.
I'm gonna just assume that I EMP'd at some point. There we go.
So I'm gonna ask: do you think that there was a way you could have potentially, with the amount of pre-fight time you had, to hit that EMP in that same spot without your TL?
Yeah, I could have hit on the crates on the beside the crate basically, or
like here or here.
On the right side. So I could have just like hopped up and then pressed Q.
Yeah, so you could have done that, right? Especially with the time you had. You also probably had enough time to go inside and then walk up these stairs and then just hit it from here. You also probably could have, if you planted a TL on this side before the fight, and then just cloak and then walk up and then just sit here as well, and then you uncloak, you walk off the high ground to hit the high and low, and then you hit it there. Because of how much time you had, right? If we back this up like 10 seconds, right? I'll play this on 1.75 and we'll turn it here overlay so you can watch you. Right, so with the amount of time that we had, you could be looking to stage for it, you see?
Yeah.
So I would say like try to min-max your time a little bit more. Something else you could have done is in the pre-fight, run in, plant your TL here, and then go help this engage in the back. You take your TL, you come out, and then you EMP, and then by that point you'll have a new TL to throw back there. That would have been like the most efficient play, but obviously hard to do, right? Also, I'd probably say the biggest thing to worry about for right now, one of the big things I want you to think about with Sombra's EMP is don't worry about the quality of the EMP, focus on the quantity. Right? If you can get an EMP every single fight, does it really matter how many it hits?
No.
Yeah, right. Now getting it every single fight is going to be very, very hard. But the typical Sombra EMP charge time is around a minute 30, around a minute 30. Um, Meaning you'd get it effectively every other fight, right? So first fight would end and you'd be like 60 to 70 to EMP, and then next fight you would get it and use it, right? And then the next fight after that you would be farming it, and then the fourth fight you would use it. Um, if you're really good with your farm, like there's some games where like they just let me free farm and I get it first fight and then I just pop it and use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's been times I've gotten it, and as I think the fastest EMP I ever got was like 48 seconds, which was ridiculous. And it just kind of worked out that way, but it's not like a reliable thing to hit it
Yeah.
that soon. But yeah, if you can just focus on the actual farm of it, it doesn't matter how many you could hit none and be like, ah, it's fine, I'll just get another, right?
True.
Because once your farm on Sombra is good and you're not afraid to throw it out, then we can really optimize the actual usage of it, you know. But I think, especially because you play a lot of these other heroes where your charge time for an ulti is typically a bit longer, that you're a little scared to use it because you're looking for that perfect opportunity, right? With Genji, you can't just pull blade whenever, right? You have to wait for an opportunity,
Yeah, you
right?
actually
Same thing
have
with
to
like,
wait.
yeah, exactly. With Echo, it's the same way. You have to think a lot about when I use it because, like, oh, this is a very powerful ult, and it takes a while to get it. If I fuck it up, then I'm throwing this game away. With Sombra, there's been times I've hit nobody with an EMP and we still win a fight. And then like I have it for the next fight, so it's like, all right, that's fine. It doesn't even matter.
All right.
All right. Wow, I like how that diva just let that happen.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised.
All right, so let's talk about this for a second. You don't have a pocket, and she does. So what does that mean to us?
That I ignore, or I just
Yeah.
if the mercy's free, then I will pressure. I'm not essentially just. I'm not gonna go for it though. I think.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, don't miss out on a free opportunity. My mom
Yeah.
always said, "Don't say no to a free meal." But um, yeah, in that same aspect, anytime you can avoid the duel, then like put your damage in elsewhere, because if you want to think about it in the sense of like, if they have an Echo and a Mercy in the sky, and then they've got four people on the ground, they're running. It's an old form of dive called the 4+2, where you have a core of four and then you have a dive team of two. Um, and the whole idea is that as long as if the core lives, then we win that fight because that means that like this dive team made space and pulled resources out that allows this core to then take space. Um, so that's how that works, right? The core has to live. Now, the way people countered the 4+2 was running a 3-3, because then you would have three people on the engage and you'd have three people in the core, because three people in the core counters two people on the dive.
Mm-hmm.
And because they have the mercy, right, that means that that's one support, so that means that we have three people on a dive for a four-man core, but they only have one healer. So if you can take that other healer out in that core, that means that core is killable, meaning we can potentially tie in that trade and we win in that dive aspect, you see.
All right.
So effectively, because they're running like this is like using older like dive terms back in the good old days of dive, but they're running a 4+2, whereas we are running a 3-3 because we have the Brig and the Zen, so we have a much more stable core, right? We have Brig, Zen, and then Diva,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's our like core, and then we have our Ball, our Echo, and our Tracer for the three on the engage. So instead of like looking to trade on this like enemy Echo, you're looking to put your damage into their core, right? And if their Echo spends her whole game chasing you, trying to kill you, and you're killing their core, then we're gonna win that, right?
True. Yeah.
Cool. Big stickies.
Yeah. It looked at me the wrong way.
I've been there before, buddy. There's been so many times I've gotten fucked by like railings before, where like I'll be here like trying to throw it, and I like catches half of them on railings. I'm like, all right, cool, thanks. Something that I would like to see though is like you opening your angle up more, right? So like playing out here because it kind of baits that enemy echo into you, and then you can, if she uses her fly to engage you, use your fly to disengage, and you have your whole core here to help you, and then she can't chase you. She's gonna overextend, right?
All right.
And from here, it allows you to be able to pinch in on your team's engages as well as peel back for like a counter engage.
Hmm.
Yeah. But like if you're here, right, you could be sitting here putting the side pressure on, and then you back off like this, and you get heals from your core. And if they go for you, then you fly out to your core, and you're fine. If they go for your core, then you pinch in from a behind angle, which is really strong.
All right.
Because like right there, like you could have been like right here doing effectively the same thing to that diva, or even just like pinching in from above and hitting her here, right? And then you're going to almost guaranteed get those stickies off on her. And I'm sure you know this, but with a diva, if you shoot her once in the face, you throw the stickies on her, you shoot her once again, you can pop your beam on her, and then the stickies will explode, pulling her to half health, and the beam will hit that bonus damage. So you can
Yeah.
actually effectively, if you pull off a perfect combo, you can 100-0 a diva mech, which is insane. You could be beaming her, man. Just beam
No,
her.
no, no. Look, see, I did. See, it's just a
Yeah,
little
okay,
late.
okay.
Yeah.
A little late,
We,
yeah,
we,
a
we
little.
figured it. We figured it out.
I would have started it like here, like right after those stickies, right? Because you can like with beam damage, beam goes through mercy healing, right? If you have that bonus damage from the low health.
Yeah. Because like,
So you could be beaming her like right now, and like potentially demech her, at very least farm the fuck out of your ulti, right?
yeah,
Um, but then especially like right now, like you started to go back, right? So like you drop down, the mercy left, like right here, I would just be beaming her, and you could probably demech her as you slowly fall. um. Fortunately, she's bad and just kind of stayed at super low health, and then you were able to get your fly again, and then you go in for the beam. So that's cool. That was nice of her, but at the same time, it took too long.
yeah. If I
So they
did
were able
earlier,
to.
I could have like lived and not died to that
Yeah,
echo.
exactly. If you were quicker with confirming that kill, then you could have moved on to something else, like picking up a mini to stabilize yourself. But you waited for your second round of cooldowns, meaning their Echo had her second round of cooldowns, so she was able to punish you.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I saw you kind of try to do this, but you totally can do this. If you're here, you can jump and float and then go right up to here. And then from there, you can walk up like this and shoot down like that, yeah. And you can even float above them and then come over to here. And then you can decide whether you want to actually like hard engage and go up and over and pinch in from behind, or just like chill and then clear out this point from that diva.
All right.
I love divas that just don't eat stickies. It's a great time for me.
I have no clue what I was doing here. Just watching.
I mean, we have copy. I would just go in with a copy.
I did.
Yeah, there you go.
This quality diva gameplay, bro. Sheesh, dude.
No, it's a good copy on the diva. One thing I would say with diva copy is you're typically gonna only get one bomb unless you get it really, really, really fast, right? Because in theory, you can almost guaranteed build a diva bomb off of your like your first round of cooldowns,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you use your boosters and your micro missiles and you just hold left click on somebody,
You'll get
then
through
you can
all of
probably get your first ult. You can drop the bomb and then maybe get another bomb because it gives you time to drop the bomb, remech, and then start farming another one. But if you don't get it off of this first round of your micro missiles, right, which like is a little late now, basically about like 10 seconds, right? So right here, if you drop this bomb immediately, you might be able to get one. But if you don't have it by 10 seconds left on your dupe, I would just use it for like a remech thing, right? Like if they kill you, then you pop it for like space.
Okay.
Because you kind of wait a little bit and then you throw that bomb. And there used to be a thing. I don't know if you knew this or not, but when Echo was first like introduced, there was a thing when like baby Diva could actually farm her ult before the bomb actually exploded. And for a normal Diva, it wouldn't make a difference, right? You get like maybe 6 ult charge, right? It wouldn't really matter.
Yeah.
But with Copy, you could throw a bomb and then pistol somebody and then get a remech before the bomb exploded. So you could actually like throw a bomb and then remech almost immediately, and then like look to farm another bomb. And because of that, you could almost always get 2, sometimes 3 bombs like off of one copy. And they were like, yeah, that's ridiculous. So they made it to where you can't actually farm ult until after the bomb goes off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, and you see how like
non-standard.
but you just remeched, right? And you only have 2 seconds left,
Yeah.
right? And so you could have probably just used that bomb to like use it to play super aggro, and if they demech you, then you just drop the bomb. Don't be afraid to chase those kills. Like you saw this baby up here, like don't be afraid of like going after her. No, it should be a free kill.
I want to say
Right.
we were calling to stagger her because it's a baby diva, and Fern was
It is.
calling for help because she got swept.
It is a baby, but the thing is it's good to stagger her if she's the last one in a fight or the second to last or something to that extent, but nobody's been monitoring her and she's 72 to her ult, right? She's close to remeching because no one's been paying attention to her.
Ah,
So like the fact that like this fight's still going on, I would just kill her because you don't want her to remech and then save this fight, which she's gonna do. Fortunately, she got bashed out of it, which is nice, right? But we just have to be careful because you saw how like that almost was really bad.
yeah. Also, question why she didn't just go for the mega instead of going for a mini, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know why she did that. I mean, these guys aren't very good. But still, just those are important things to think about, right? Like if it's like near the end of a fight and it's just cleanup phase, then yeah, you can probably stagger her because somebody can monitor her and make sure she's not farming her ult or whatever. But she was up on the high ground where like the only one who really could contest her would be you, and
Mm,
because of that, no one was really paying that much attention to her. And so she could have, if she played it smarter, she could have stayed up here and then remaced and then like just gone behind you guys, and then you have to worry about the diva that's behind with bomb, right? Or she could have just like flown up and out. She had tons of options and she picked the wrong one. But some divas will be smarter than her. Also, for what it's worth, I'm totally okay with the idea of that beam because if your teammates are shooting at her, like you don't have to be the person to guarantee get her to half health before you beam, right? If
yeah.
somebody jumps into us, you just throw stickies, throw your beam, and they'll get low enough from our team, and then that beam will definitely get that kill. So I like the idea. And focusing this copy down is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, burning copy is always really good. Which, by the way, not Diva, Sombra is a great counter to Echo, if you didn't already know.
I guess that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Because not only is Echo in her own fully based around her own kit, right? Like her stickies, her beam, all of her juicy bits are in her kit, and Echo gets fucked on by Sombra hacking her because she can't use any of that. Even if the Echo copies, Sombra just hacks the copy, and then she can't build her ulti or she can't use her ulti.
Yeah.
So just so you know, if you're ever struggling against a really good Echo, you can always just go Sombra and just stick on her. You kind of see how you used your bomb there for like a second skin though, like that was good, but they didn't actually force you out of mech, right? Meaning like you could have potentially tried to like boost her closer to cart for it. It's a small thing though.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me full hold. Nice.
I had very much fun on King's Row. Now, I would say just like skip the first two fights because that happened twice where we just die super early.
Well, I want to. This is sorry, but I'm just gonna see how.
That makes sense.
So
Yeah.
yeah, Orion prematurely dropped shield when we're still like crossing. But also our Moira, for whatever reason, tucked back out. You saw that?
Yeah, I did.
Like she was almost here, and then she like kind of cut back out for just a half second. Yeah, so we lose Moira, we back off.
So now Firex dies early.
Yeah, he just kind of sat there and took it to the chin. Don't know why. And so he back off again. We almost just let our BAP die right there. Y'all gotta work on grouping, bro. I've got a fun challenge for you guys. Somewhere I have a code saved, and it's a really not great code, but it kind of sort of ish works. But the whole idea is that the Lucio aura, if one person is outside of our Lucio's aura, everybody gets lit on fire. It doesn't really do damage, but
It makes it
like it's just
really
a
spacing.
yeah, exactly. It's just to help teach people to like stay like grouped on the Lucio. And so what we do is we have everybody like stay in our Lucio, but then we have our Ryan actually come like where he's going, right? But what we do is we sit here and we talk about the fight plan. So Orion says, okay, we're gonna go around statue, we're gonna push outside the cars, and we're gonna go deep, right? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we all like mute our mics, and then they
Oh
would try to
gosh.
go through with that rotation together without the comms, because in theory, once you're doing this, other comms are being talked about, right? Like cooldowns and whatever. And so that way you don't have somebody like, all right, we're pushing, okay, stop, okay, we go back, things like that. And so we do the pre-fight planning, and then we have to basically stay inside of our Lucio's aura while we try to go through with that planning phase, and then we put like one or two people off to the side to try to like interrupt that rotation just to see how well people can actually stick together. But yeah, I was saying that because I don't do any shit in the workshop code, but I wanted something like that, so I spent like a couple hours one day trying to figure out the workshop code, and then that was the furthest I was able to get. But I was like, yeah, it's all right. Goodbye, Zora. No, no. Did he just run out of time and he just never pulled?
I want to say he shot.
I thought he shot too. I don't know why he didn't pull it on the Lucio there. Or
He
like,
had multiple opportunities. Yeah. Oh, he did.
yeah, he could have broken the Ryan shield with a hit, but all right, whatever. Okay. Nice.
I was like, I'll make this corner here.
As a Doomfist, you should almost always stage on high ground because it allows you to just have free slams. So like sitting here would be good, or sitting here would be even better.
Yeah.
Because that means that you could just drop down and punch in. You could also like, if you wanted to, you could like drop out and slam in, and then uppercut and then punch out. And I think brawl v brawl slams are gonna be better than punches, because with the slam you're hitting multiple people, so you're gonna farm a fuck ton more of your ulti.
True. Oh, I actually went for that.
That was a relatively good engagement. I mean, although like you missed the initial punch, right? Like,
I still got
yeah,
the
the
bubble
idea of
out.
going first. Yeah. You went in, you got the bubble, right? And then you slam out and you reset, right? So that's fine because that allowed us to get around this corner.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, ideally you hit those punches,
Yeah.
but the second engage I don't like because you go in without your cooldowns, right? Like right here, So you engage, but you don't have your shit, and Zarya doesn't have her shit. You see?
Yep.
So this is not a good situation to be in. So I would have just waited just a little bit longer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit. At very least, wait for your own way of getting out, and then Zarya should have her bubbles by then. But if she doesn't, you can at least get out on your own. And I think you kind of realize that because you punch it in, and then you're like, "Uh-oh," right? Good uppercut. Do you do any Doom parkour?
I've gotten back into it, yeah.
Okay. The reason I ask is because a big part of Doom is his movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so like when you're charging up this second punch here, something that I probably would have done is do one of those 90 punches. So you get here and then you jump and you get over here to get to your supports and then you get topped up because you're gonna break the LOS of that Hanzo that way.
Yeah.
But instead you just kind of go straight, which you end up LOSing your supports again. So they still can't heal you, and you're still in LOS of the Hanzo. So you didn't actually put yourself in a better position at all. All you did was put yourself out of range of him. You see?
Yeah.
And like there, once like you miss that punch, like here, if you miss this, then like right here with how you're angled, hitting spacebar would like launch you this way to at least like get out, right? And then you go out and around. But then you just kind of like hit the wall. And you try to go inside, but you almost have your uppercut on, and you know that he's low, and dealing damage heals you in a way. It gives you shields.
Yeah.
So instead of like coming here, I would be like looking for him, try to cut back, and then look for an uppercut, and then you could look to maybe hit him with one or two shots. He still might kill you, but at least you die fighting. But our Reaper got him. Just a moment too late. I know you don't have games on right now, but I just heard the Ryan start. He started his pin, so you turned around and like pulled your fist out. Like, where is he? Okay, it was really good to punish that Ryan because like I was expecting like a like a bomb shatter, bomb pin, or something to that extent.
Mm-hmm.
Also, these guys are actually this is a really good thing that I want you guys to do more often. When you throw a diva bomb in, you actually like speed in with that bomb to take space, right?
Yeah.
So they're
Oh.
doing really good at that, which is cool. But right here, instead of going for this slam, you should pop your ult and just not die, right?
Yeah.
Try to like love your life a little bit more and go up.
I think I was spamming Q. I was like, maybe I can get the Ryan and get out still.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things we try to do, because I don't think we've actually succeeded with it at all, is just having the Diva Bomb go in, then the Ryan pinning after.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good idea, and
Yeah,
if you just
if you guys actually just do it right,
yeah,
yeah.
if we do it right.
And in my opinion, bomb shatter is inferior to bomb pin because you're using two ults for the same effect as you would get from one ult, which is the threat of the diva bomb. Have fun with that, Kree.
I wasn't expecting the punch to hit. At the angle, I was like, this won't hit. I can just dip.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying just because of the beat that they just got.
Well, he doesn't have... Wait, did he have it?
He got it right here. So it was like last second. So it's a little unlucky, actually, like hindsight. But I just saw him like with the full health beat. I'm like, all right, you're going onto a Kree that you can't one shot, and he's gonna have flash. But it's all right. It worked out. Yeah, he got it just at the last second.
Freaking lucky.
So a little unlucky. And we stabilize with our... No, we don't. Okay. If you go in, then our... Like right here, our Ryan should be looking to push up and take aggro space because you just went in, right? And that way you're able to get out. But he's backing up when you're still in front of him. So, like, when you were here, he was here. And now that you're backing up, he's backing up at the same pacing as yours, so you're stuck in front of him without any shields.
Tragic.
So he just kind of like left you out to dry. Yeah, that is tragic.
What am I waiting on? What's happening?
I know, I was expecting, like, okay, there we go.
Hey,
Now we're walking.
hey, we did it.
Nice. Wow, look at that. We just went and team fighted off of it, too. I also noticed that you were also punching for that Ryan, too, which was a good play, because that way if the Ryan tried to counterpin him, which he should have, right?
I was
You
expecting
can
you
counterpin.
to.
Yeah, exactly. Then you hit that punch off after, which is perfect. So then that was like a really clean fight. And you see how easy that was?
Yeah. So either something went wrong here. So I think
You probably should have counterpinned that Ryan right there, like once your Ryan got pinned, because it would save your Ryan, if you punched him.
True.
So like right here, you see that Ryan, and you see him pinning, and you're charging up your fist for it. So I would have gone for it, like right here. Like I would have tried to punch him to save your Ryan.
That would have been better.
Yeah, you get the back, which is nice, but
Why
if we
didn't he
lose
die to
our
the?
Ryan,
Why didn't he die to the actual punch though? That was fully charged.
uh, was it fully charged?
Yeah.
It was fully charged.
He hit the health pack.
Oh yeah, that mini.
Boy, lucky.
Yep.
Wow, look at that 55 HP.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he hit that mini. That's what saved him.
Dead.
A fun thing that I'll do, anytime I'm 1v1ing like a hog as any like relatively decent health hero, I'll fight him around a health pack like that. So like, if there's a hog that's like there, then I'll stand like here. So if he hooks me, then I get pulled through the health pack, which will heal up that hook damage, which makes it almost impossible. It makes it much harder for him to one shot.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact: if you ever get hooked as far by hog, look for an E, not like an E or a shift, but never a left click, because you'll kill yourself on his face.
Yeah, it's always funny when that happens.
Yeah, it's really hard for a hog to one tap Farah because she's typically above him. So even when he pulls her in, he can't hit any shots on the head, which makes it really hard to one shot. Not impossible, but hard.
Yeah, that Bastion pick, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
You're only slightly salty about it.
I mean, our Reaper should have just gone on to him, to be honest, and just live against the Bastion, because Reaper can take up Bastion's attention span for quite a while.
Yeah.
You as a Doom, the best thing you can do is just avoid. Oh, I should have looked for an uppercut there.
Yeah. As soon as I saw it, I was like, if only you could cancel seismic, that'd be beneficial.
Yeah, right. You can, and that experimental patch.
Yeah, they ain't wild. So I would imagine that would actually be helpful because you can do more stuff like that to just catch people off guard, technically speaking.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw.
Interesting.
What? What happened there? Did you counterpunch the enemy Ryan?
I'm gonna say yeah, but I'm gonna say probably not.
Oh, you got shattered.
Oh, so that's what happened to me.
Yeah, you went for the punch and you just went above your range at like the last second. It's a little
I
unfortunate.
mean, hey, we hit our shadow, so
True.
that was chill.
Yo, Ryan's gotta be careful about shit like this. I love watching like low ranked Ryans do shit like where they stand right in front of the bomb like that. Because all you gotta do is like this Lucio that's right here, if he comes like this, and then he boops you forward to where that shield goes just in front of the bomb. So like if the bomb is like here, like
Mm-hmm.
that, then it's in front of the shield and it kills the Ryan and then everybody behind him.
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
I do that with Far all the time too. You know, be like Far, the Ryan shielding, and then throw a boot behind him, and it knocks him just in front, right? But like this Lucio that's right here, who totally could just like wall ride like this, get here, and then boop him forward, and then he'll kill everybody. But the Lucio just runs away because he's a pussy. Also, I would say like you have to try to pick your targets a little bit better. In a brawl v brawl, punching a Ryan totally worth it, right? Or getting any squishy kill
Mm-hmm.
is gonna be good. Hitting the off tank is almost always going to be really bad unless the off tank is like sick. But like Diva can eat a fucking punch. Zarya can eat a fucking punch, and actually, their job is to eat those punches. So you want to not do that for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So try and avoid the off tanks. Look for like the healers or the main tank are gonna be really really good because that's gonna be the things that's going to like carry through this fight. And the other thing is like it's just a little bit of like it'll come with time. Is just like hitting those initial punches more. Because I think overall you have relatively good ideas on Doom. I mean, there's some like pre-fight positioning stuff, right? Like staging on high ground more often. You know, learning how to properly like position to LOS threats. So there's like a couple things which we've already talked about, but I'd probably say the biggest thing is just like a little bit of mechanics, but also a little bit of like decision making on who you're trying to punch onto.
Okay.
And so like, why are we playing so scared here? Because like ideally we could be way the fuck up here, and then just hit them on their rotation. And I don't know if you've seen, but actually a lot of the some of the teams that I coach for this competition, they actually take a fight here. They take one fight here, and then they force this fight in this open space, so that way even if they lose, they come back and have a second fight on point.
I think
Um,
for the last like three scrims, we've had the idea of us just going for their rotation, like actually just cutting
mhm.
them off, which is what you're supposed to do. We just
Yeah, it is
haven't.
what you're supposed to do. Yeah, I mean, like we're just holding like so far back for no reason, right?
So I can't do much to that. That's a large gap there.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like you want to be fucking up and in them, and like look how spread these guys are right now, right? Like if you engaged right here, right now, like we would just win this fight because like both of their DPS are like off on their own and they're setting up, right? So these guys aren't even doing much right now. If you guys were like sitting here and then they start to walk and then you just engage on them right now, it's a 4v6 and this fight's over before their DPS even do anything. And especially right now, like look at that, like they're trying to wrap all the way around here. If we still engaged here, like these guys are like going not even the right way, you know? We're just like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're just way too slow. And obviously, I know that's not like a you thing; that's just a team thing. But you're on the team, so I'll talk about it. Because I'm sure you're feeling the effects of like, hey, I want to do something here, but I feel like I can't.
Yeah. I have no clue how that Zarya came out there. I was like,
She just
I'll,
came in at the last second. Yeah,
so I'll just punch this Lucio
you
here.
got to learn how to counter Doom with Doom. Um, a good thing to do is if you get punched, he's almost always going to try to follow it with a slam, right? If he's greedy, he'll try to slam you.
Mm-hmm.
If he's smart, he'll uppercut and slam away. But he's trying to slam you right now, so you can uppercut him because this is a locked animation,
Yeah.
right? So if you uppercut him right now, you'll hit him, and he'll still be stuck in the slam animation, and it gives your Ana time to just sleep him, right?
Yeah.
On top of that, it gives you time to uppercut him and then potentially punch him. In this case, you don't have your punch, but if you uppercut him and then you just punch him out of it, and then now he doesn't have his slam,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna fall to the ground, and then you can slam on top of him, right?
Yeah.
But you uppercut after he's already done all that damage. Kind of like what he just did to you. You see that?
Yeah.
That's a good slam. That was a really good like engage there on that backline. Sometimes people get upset that like I don't respond to their messages, and I always tell people to bump DMs because of things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like within the 1 hour that you and I have been here, I've had already 2 different people reach out to me about 2 completely different things. By the when you pop Doomel, you have one of 2 options, which is that you're gonna do it and hold it for a while, or you're gonna do it and then pop it almost immediately, because when you're in the air, there's only 5 people, right? Because you're not doing anything until you slam again.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that you could do is you pop it and you wait for them to try to engage onto your team, and then you counter engage with your ult, or you pop it and then you immediately go in like you did. But you just need to make sure that you're in sync with the rest of your team when you do that, right? So right here, like you're trying to go up and take space, and you drop up, you go up in the air. But like your team is still being held by this Ryan, you see.
Yeah.
On top of that, you go for Hanzo instead of the Ana,
You
which
know.
Ana would be better.
Yeah, I would think so because Anna doesn't have mobility.
No, she doesn't have mobility. Exactly. So you can almost guarantee to get a really good slam on her, and then uppercut her, kill her, and then punch back into the fight, and then slam back onto these guys. Or you could like hit like a slam here, which is gonna force this Ryan to turn his shield to your Ryan. Or he doesn't turn his shield, he eats that, and then you punch him into the wall, and then your Ryan can shatter him. You know, shit like that. So I would say like I said, right, going for like the main tank or like their supports, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would be like the top priorities. Like those should be like the first and foremost on the list. Instead, you're just gonna get bullied. Fortunately, like 3 enemies turned to try to deal with you, so your team was able to win the frontline war. But I don't think you need to die there.
Yeah, there wasn't a need for it.
Oops. It's not quite a room you want to be in. Oh, that was a good punch on the Ryan to cancel that pin, though. Where was our Ryan during all of this?
Ah, cut off from the track. I mean, he could have walked through it. We had an Anna. I mean, you know, it would have been fun. Yeah. We also nailed a Lucio on accident, so that was unlucky. But
That was a good bomb.
hey, got the bomb.
Yeah, I mean, we're just like holding way back in hotel and letting them rotate for free every time. And then we're trying to take a fight once they're stabilized, which is just really weird and it's really hard for us. It just shows that we're just a better team because we're killing them when we're at our weakest and they're at their strongest. But, like, why are we doing this to ourselves?
We're also the first team to 3-0 them, which was fine.
Mm-hmm.
So we just want to beat the undefeated team. That's what we're looking towards.
Oh, what league is this again?
UGC.
Oh, okay, that's right. One of the other teams that I coach, I think it's GGNA that they're in right now. I think they're 7-0.
pretty chill.
Just, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm like, hey, good job, boys.
Have they dropped the map though?
I think they've dropped one map.
Because the other team, the other side, has the Tracer player that we were kind of all talking about for like the past week. Oops.
Mm-hmm. This team?
Oh gosh, no. Well, no, we'd be
Okay.
losing most likely, to be honest.
Mhm. Also, I did watch I watched the somebody linked like a Twitch, so I went through and I was assuming that's what you guys were talking about was like the Twitch because like I had a couple videos posted from like a month ago or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
So
he deleted his VODs, the recent ones, for some reason.
yeah. But I watched some of the older ones and like his aim is I would probably say like yeah, probably somewhere in GM based off of like mechanics, but he's a hit scan player, so I would believe it if he was like a high masters low GM potentially. Um, but based on the comms and the decision making, I would definitely say probably like somewhere in GM, probably like 4-1, 4-2 ish.
Yeah. So not 3.1, which is what he's claiming to be.
No, well, I mean, like, hey, let me see, let me grab something for you. Yeah. Um. Yeah, let's grab one from Aspect. If those codes are posted anywhere. No, they're not.
Also, do you have time for one more or not?
We could probably try to do a quick one.
It's comp game, so it's going to be.
Okay, then yeah, we can do that.
Let's see. Now, do you want a Genji game or do you want another Doom game?
I'll leave that up to you to decide.
Realistic, I'm not really going to be playing Genji that much anymore, so we'll just keep this one.
Yeah, there's just something about like higher level players that you can just see how they carry themselves.
They think differently.
Yeah. So I mean, like, does that Tracer player look somewhat like this player right here? Hang on, let's wait for an engagement. But yeah, like their ability to like target track, and like swap between targets. Yeah.
Now, this is halfway a meme game, but I did make mistakes, so therefore there is value I can get out of it. Because it's also a King's Row game, and
Mm-hmm.
I did dumb stuff because comp. Now, I would love to do this in an actual game, but Firex says no because if I die, it's much worse. Because I can't
Nah, I
really.
would.
Alright, so now next time we play King's Row, I'm gonna do it.
As long as our team is engaged for it.
Well, yeah, because normally all Firex has to do is just walk up slightly to just get the bubble off, and then outside of that.
Mm.
I was more so surprised the ferret didn't see me.
Yeah. Right, like you say, use that as, and then yeah, you just punch out.
Yeah.
Easy. And that was a good kill on the Zen. That was a good target choice. Here you're bowling a hog instead of a Sig. I would definitely go for the Sig. Nice, good kill on the Tracer. I would say the only time it's worth going for a hog is if he doesn't have his cooldowns, or if your team is with him, or your team is with you.
Yeah, it's fairly accurate.
Yeah, but definitely don't want to like hunt him out on your own. Just like there, like you're pinching in because other people are already fighting him. Totally fine. Nice, hit him with that tech. Good kills.
I also think I typed a lot intermittently.
So if that far is going behind, it's not really your job to deal with her. Instead, what you can do is go pressure their tank line or their other back line. So that way, like that far gets no help from the rest of our team. You know?
True. Did you appreciate the tracer kill there?
Yeah. No, the tracer kill is good. What I always like to ask people is, was it an accident? And then people tell me no. And from that, I tell them if it wasn't an accident, then don't celebrate it.
Ah. I mean, I was more so going for like looks, you know?
No, I know.
Because I actually didn't mean to. Because I was like, what
Mhm.
the heck, bro?
Yeah, like you went for it not expecting it to work, but then it did work, and you're like, oh, cool.
Oh, this is questionable.
Yeah, kind of put yourself in a bad spot.
I was being very optimistic about their hog's name.
Creative decision making.
Ah, this was also.
No, I said you don't want to find yourself in a 1v1 against them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just get bullied.
I think more so in comp, I just die more because I just go for more aggressive stuff more so than when I'm actually playing.
In comp, you are gonna naturally kind of die a little bit more. I play a lot of that's a good kill on the Mercy. I play a lot of Soldier and May in comp because I can heal myself.
That's respectable.
Yeah. Like actually, I think if you look at the account that I'm on right now, um, you'll notice a hefty amount of like soldier play. Not in this one because this is like much easier, right? But like we go back like the season before, soldiers, right there. You go back the season before that. Oh, you can see the maze here. The soldiers down there. Go to the season before that. Still a little bit of soldier, and then here's where you really see it. This is when I was
Yeah.
trying to like first grind up to masters.
Mm-hmm.
So I just played a fuck ton of soldier because I can just heal myself.
You
And
can be
then
you can be self sufficient.
yeah, right. And then outside of that, then like once I'm up in masters, like the games are much easier because my teammates aren't as dog shit. So then I can just kind of do what I would normally do.
I second that statement.
There you are. There you are. Look for the Zen. Alright, that's unfortunate. Good idea, but just improper execution.
He almost died.
Almost hit him right into the fucking hole, bro. Hole in one. God damn it. These guys need to get placements done for the tourney that they're in. They have like 1 week to do it. Oh, that was so close.
It was. That was a very good quality indicator slam.
Yeah.
There we go.
This trace is so bad.
I mean, yeah, because she keeps doing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like you learn to read the movement, and she just keeps doing it.
That was close. I went for it.
Creative play.
Yeah. Like, hey, if I get it, it will be nice. I have no idea what
Facts.
that was, but made it work.
I think you kind of went in for the ult because you went too deep, and then after you were up there, you realized, oh, there's not really much going on.
This was bad.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah. There's also something weird that happens. I don't remember where. They just do things at some point. I was here. Explain. I'm probably. Oh yeah, get this. Farah here? No, Blizzard just decided to not let me go through for some reason.
Yo, the other day I was on Busan Sanctuary, the open one, right?
Yeah,
Um, and I blinked into a wall, and I was stuck. Like legit, I was stuck in the wall, like like a stall spot. It was like one of
yeah.
those, but I just never went up. I had to recall to get out of it.
Hmm, it's interesting.
Yeah, it was retarded. I was like, what is this game?
It's a bug-free game, man.
Yeah,
It's all
right.
these
Indie dev
features.
team.
Yeah,
Indie dev team.
they still figuring it out. They still learning.
Yo, is that real moth on the other team? I never understood the people who just name themselves after like a pro player. It's like, why, bro?
It's like we ain't gonna believe it's the real one unless it's actually
Right.
in the proper rank, and this is diamond. So like,
Yeah, right. And like on top of that, like if you like the player, then name it like Moth Fan. Like make it a literal fan account, not like an impersonation account.
don't worry about this. You can. Okay,
You're
yeah.
honest to watch.
I think I was trying to ego the tracer a bit too hard there.
I see a lot of movement going on, but not a lot of results going on.
Ah, the Zen actually called out the tracer, so I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Although to be fair, it also really shouldn't be you going on the tracer. Like okay, it's nice that you're killing the tracer, and it's nice that you're killing the Pharah, but realistically, if this was like a better team,
Oh
then
yeah, it
you
wouldn't
would
happen.
spend most of your time on the BAP and the SIG,
Yeah,
right? Like that would be like because it's nice that you're getting these picks, but if you weren't, you'd be doing nothing, right? Because you'd be spending all your time trying to do this shit and then walking away dead, you know.
like now. Ah.
That was really funny. Yeah, like the Sig and the BAP are gonna be two consistent, good value kills to be getting, right? Like that kill right there, totally worth the trade.
Oh yeah. Well, anytime I kill a support and die for, I consider that a fair trade because I always get back faster.
Yeah, I listened to Lucio.
True. I punch out eventually, right? Nah, I don't punch out. Oh, there it
I
is.
think you're looking at this fight being maybe lost. Oh, tragic.
I'm lucky. I think I still get the kill. Yeah.
Nice.
If you win it eventually, just takes because dragon.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, no, like looking for that Sig and that BAP is good, and like I would be looking to do that, like to be way more consistent at any rank, any player that you're going against. Like those would be the two top priorities.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You could also like soft punch the enemy hog. Like if he's trying to flank, you could like potentially just try to punch him to force him away, but like not actually go for that kill unless your team is with him.
It's reasonable.
Also, it was nice that you helped your Zen get out of spawn. I probably would have like if I knew where that hog was, I would have waited for the Zen to come out and then gone on the hog. Um, you went like what? Like to me, felt like a little early, but fortunately, the hog is not great.
Yeah.
Um, you Zen also discorded him, which is nice.
That was a very that was unique.
Yeah,
I get it.
nice
I mean, you
barrage.
want to kill the Sieg, but this was
Yeah, that's dumb of her to like push in there against you.
It was questionable. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
kind of hoping
And
the
now you're
back would
looking for the
stay.
BAP, which is good.
Big man.
Sometimes it's not worth it to like charge up that punch all the way like that, right? Like if they get around that corner, right? So if you see this Mercy, oops, shit. Right, like with this Mercy, instead of like charging up your fist all the way,
Cancel my airway to just get momentum.
yeah, just like punch like around the corner, like right here, like you hit the punch and then you turn and you hit spacebar and you go right here and you're like right with her and you just hit her with a hand cannon, right? But you're so eager to like get her with the kill, with the punch that you spend all that time like going around the corner, still just to not get it. All right, like you could have just like quick punched to get closer to her and around that corner and then just shoot her dead.
Yeah. I can work on that.
Yeah. Remember, as a DPS, it's your job to kill. It doesn't matter how.
Ah, yeah. I was like, I didn't want to push cart, but I was like, no one else.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's
Yeah.
got to do it.
It's kind of fun for you to do it in this case because they have to push onto a Doomfist, which nobody wants to do.
Nah.
Am I saying you should always be the one to be on cart? No, but like in this specific case, like you can. Right there, you totally should have ulted though.
I think I was expecting the Orisa to die, and she didn't.
It's an Orisa. She'll never die.
I mean, yeah, you got a point. I mean, she took a punch to the wall, and she didn't fortify, so I just assumed, it's like, ah, yeah, she'll be dead.
I mean, you're right. She took a punch to the wall and took 2 cannon shots to the head and still didn't die. She got low, but she still didn't die. By the way, if you're Pharah against a Doom that likes to try to Reddit onto you, don't go indoors. Don't push the Doom. Force him to come to you because his ego is going to make him come to you. And if he ults up, just get away from a roof.
Actually, I think I do.
Because, like, a common spot that a Pharah... Yeah, I know. That's why it's easy. A common spot that Pharah sit will be up here. And Dooms will be like, oh, I'll just ult onto the roof and kill him. Right? So I hear the Doom go up and then I conk and I sit, like, right in the space right here. And like he can't do anything. He'll go up to that roof, and then I just hit a direct on him, and then I boop him onto the other side of the roof, and he goes away like a sad puppy between his legs. Yeah, good pick right here. That's a that nice, and then we can get that. Oh, maybe not. Now get out. Okay, respectable. You went for it, and it didn't work, and then you backed off. That was good. That's like I wouldn't say it's a perfect play because obviously you missed some mechanical things, but decision wise, I think you had all the right decisions based on what happened. Right here, it's kind of a lost fight, so I would just get out. Yeah.
That flick made me nervous. I was like, wait, did I just go back in?
You're thinking about it. Watching the orb bounce around in the room. At this point, I just don't know why you're still on the Doom. Because Doom isn't, like, great into what they have. Like, they have, like, double shield Moira, like, Pharmacy, right? Like, you can still bully the Sig and, like, the Kree, and that'd be about it.
I think.
But, like, what your comp or your team is running, like, I don't think Doom is a great pick here.
I mean, I probably would have ran Genji otherwise. Cause I think I was just having fun on Doom, and I was like doing quote fine. So I was just like, why not?
I mean, you're doing fine, but especially at the lower ranks, it's not about doing your job; it's about carrying.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
At the higher ranks, it's a very different story. Lol. Lol.
Hey, I'm happy
Yeah,
it worked that time.
Yeah. At the higher ranks, it's a different story. It's a don't try to fucking carry, just do your job and you'll be fine because everybody else will do their job.
Yeah.
But at lower ranks, like healers don't know how to heal, tanks don't know how to tank, so you kind of have to do everyone's job a little bit in order to win. But so like sometimes doing fine isn't enough. For example, I have a Somber one trick account that's currently in like 2.9. Because I cannot do enough on Sombra.
Well, yeah,
I get EMPs. Exactly. She's too team reliant, and like every time there's just like, and the thing is I can deal with shitty tanks and I can deal with shitty supports, because if we have a shit tank, then I focus their tank line so our tanks can win the tank duel, right? If we have shit supports, I focus on hacking a lot more packs around the fight so our tanks can stabilize themselves off the packs. But I can't deal with the shitty DPS. That's the killer, because I can't out damage, like I can't do the damage of 2 DPS on Sombra. Yeah, she is very team reliant, which makes her incredibly hard to actually carry games at the lower ranks. At the higher ranks, it's the easiest shit in the world.
Oh yeah.
At the lower ranks, it's incredibly challenging. And I'm guessing that you guys lose this because
This.
they're,
No, it's literally
yeah.
because of this. Because I want it to be extra. I just sit here so I do not shoot. I haven't taken any damage. So they shouldn't know that I'm here.
Mm.
Ah.
But you're making noise.
Yep.
I mean, like, really, that's what it is, right? Like, you jumped up and you jumped down, so you're making noise. But on top of that, I think the hog could just see you when he was walking by. Oh no, you are making noise. And then he could see you, yeah. Yeah, you jumped up and you jumped down, which made him hear it, so that's why he turned, and then he could just see your fucking leg.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, I just got a little too creative. I mean, like I said, like I would say the big things is I would say like your target priority, right? Knowing who to go in on, and your idea of pacing is okay, right? Like kind of like going in roughly with the team and backing off roughly with the team.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's fine for like especially for like comp standards. That's good enough. I would say your biggest weaknesses right now though are your individual like mechanics, especially in comp, right? Just like hitting certain punches, but also hitting it on the right target. Because sometimes you're hitting the punches, but it's not quite on a right target, or you're going for the right target, but you're like missing the punch,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So those are probably like, there's like a little bit like the micro decision making, right? So like trying to like do too much instead of just like think like you're overcomplicating things instead of just thinking simple, right? So like if I'm trying to kill that guy, right, then I could just like soft punch, uppercut, and then like get to him, right, drop off to get a slam.
Yeah.
Simple things, right? As opposed to like trying to like you see him and then you're like, oh, let me go come over to this barrel and do like like a doom like roll out punch type of shit, right? Like just think simpler, right?
Because it doesn't matter how many shots you take; it's just a matter of just killing the person.
Exactly. It's just about killing them, right? Um,
Like
and so it's just like be a little bit smart about things, right? So also sometimes like order matters, right? So you could be looking for like a punch and then a slam sometimes, but sometimes you could like slam to get to a spot and then just like punch from there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because like punch is a little bit slower than slam is,
Yeah.
but it's more aimed, right? But if you're able to like, if I'm trying to get somebody that's like down there, right, I could like punch over and then slam, which for an engage would probably be better. It's like punch over and then look for it's like a slam,
Mm-hmm.
um, or potentially, depending on who it is, right, I could also look to like if I'm going for this target that's like over here. I could potentially be looking to slam, go on one target, and then immediately go over to the other, right? So I could be looking to like slam, go here, right, and then go to the other person. So like linking up your targets is
Mm-hmm.
also going to be really good. So if you know what the field looks like putting things together is going to be good too. So like because I noticed that sometimes you're ignoring targets. So like you would ignore one to go for the other that you actually want to go to, instead of like looking to like force that person out or kill them and then go to the target that you want to go to. All right, so like, don't be afraid of like linking your targets up and actually like helping your team a bit more. Because one of the things that I've learned is in comp, your teammates are almost always going to be really bad for whatever reason. So you have to kind of look at it in a way of how can I trick them into getting value, right? And so sometimes like they'll be dominated by an enemy on the like on the other team, right? Like they might have you might have a Ryan that just loses to a Pharah, so you have to go okay, I have to pressure the Pharah, or you so that way like you pressure the Pharah so your Ryan can get value, or your Ryan is losing the Ryan 1v1, so then you pressure the Ryan to help your Ryan win that 1v1 so he can go do stuff, right? So like sometimes you'll find your value by just making your teammates not feed.
Interesting. So something that has become apparent is the fact of how hard the Genji bot review is going to be when I eventually did a decent game, not one where I just do stuff. Because now that I think about it, there's a lot of stuff on Genji that is questionable that I do
Yeah.
for memes, and those memes kind of carry into scrims.
Yeah, you know, like the old saying, the practice how you play type of thing.
Yeah. Well, it's a whole lot of practice I have to erase for the Genji stuff.
Mm.
I mean, it's getting better. I just go for kills instead of going for the flashy stuff. I do still go for the flashy stuff, but it's at least more toned down.
Hmm.
So I think in my first game, I was ghost dashing on the first team we went against, and I died for it.
Hmm.
That was the last time I did that.
Yeah. No, I would say like I mean there's times to like play for fun, but then there's also times to like kind of actually try to practice things, you know?
Yeah. Alright, well,
All right.
that's what I got for you.
Cool. Well, hopefully you found it somewhat useful.
Yep, it'll be nice rewatching the VOD later.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.